One.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Untitled Hoops podcast. I am one of your hosts, Sean. Over there is the other host, the illustrious Marquise.
Hello.
This is the podcast where we talk about basketball, mainly the NBA, mainly the 76ers, except kind of not really today. Um, we got some other stuff to talk about because the Sixers have advanced already. They are at home,
I feel like
pretty
they've
much just,
advanced like 2 weeks ago. Like at
yeah,
this
it
point,
feels like forever ago. Um,
we were the
because we were
only
the only
sweep.
team to sweep, by
Only,
the way. If
and it's crazy
if you didn't know that.
going into this series, going to this playoffs. I was like, "There's no sweeps,"
Yeah, I remember we said that,
and our
and we
team,
were the only
we
sweep.
the only sweep. All right, let's go. Let's say there's going to be no sweeps in the next round too. Let's just you know
So
put that out there.
why don't we just go ahead and recap the series that are already done for
I
anybody
think
who maybe is only following one team.
I think the first series that we have to get into is the upset of the last decade.
Do you want to talk about that first?
No, let's save it. Let's save it.
Save it.
I feel like a lot of
Okay.
people are going to come to hear that. So,
Okay.
a lot of so
So
you pick that series.
there are only what one?
There's only one series still going.
No,
I mean,
three.
yeah, three. Oh yeah, Lakers. Who
Lakers, Grizzlies, Kings, Warriors, and Hawks, Celtics, which is probably going to be over tonight.
who knows? Who knows, bro? The NBA is fucking insane. So I could see it going seven, and they
I
did that.
don't know.
I could see it go seven. I wanted to go seven, not because like I want to watch another game of Hawks Celtics, but like my guy is resting up right now.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but yeah, can we talk about the Knicks Cavaliers?
Yeah, let's do that.
So
Knicks, Cavaliers.
I had the Cavaliers winning that series, and then
I think I did too.
they just fucking wet the bed, dude.
Yeah, I think I did too. I think most people did. I mean, no, the Cavs were one. They were the 4 seed. The Knicks were the 5 seed. But even ignoring seeding, the Cavs seemed to be just the more complete team. I mean, they had bigs, they had guards, they have a bench. Um, well, kind of not really. They have Karis LeVert, but still, like it seemed like the Cavs had just more at their disposal than the Knicks did. But then when you watch them play, it kind of seemed like the opposite.
For real. I mean,
Uh,
for in I guess playing devil's advocate for the Cavs just a little bit, not a lot, because we I predicted you even knowing what I'm about to say was true. I still picked y'all. This is majority of them their first time in the playoffs. Remember they were supposed to make it last year. Injuries happen. They fall completely
yeah,
out of it. So this is their first time for their basically everybody but Donovan Mitchell, oh, and Jared Allen. This is basically
yeah.
their first time in the playoffs. Obviously, they got some guys on the bench that were in the playoffs before, but like,
Well,
they're
wasn't
lead
Karis
guys.
LeVert?
Well, I said majority of them,
Oh, okay.
but like majority of their lead guys, only what two of them has been to the playoffs before, and even then it was like first round, second round.
Yeah. Well,
So
Osman hasn't Osman been to the playoffs? He went that in 2018.
I think Osman was in the finals.
Yeah.
I think he was in the finals. He was in that last LeBron team.
Right.
That's crazy.
Uh, it was weird. I mean, I don't know. I guess I just expected more from the Cavs. I mean, like we said, like the I think the biggest issue was the fact that a lot changed for the Cavs this year compared to last year. Whereas like for the Knicks, their team was largely the same besides the addition of Jalen Brunson.
Hmm.
So I think just that chemistry, having the same coach, having the same star players, having pretty much the same rotation and same bench, just with the addition of Jalen Brunson was enough to, give them that edge as far as like just them having the chemistry. Um, but yeah, I mean, I definitely predicted the Cavs would win that series. Now, like I said, I think we said it maybe like right before the playoffs started. I did say that was going to be
Seven.
here's where I feel like I've been slighted. I honestly felt like the Cavs Knicks and the Warriors Kings were going to be the two most entertaining series. I thought those were going to be, if any series was going to go to 7 games, I thought it was going to be those two.
Yeah, I also felt like the Lakers. Well, obviously, I picked the Lakers in 6. I picked the Warriors in 6, and then I immediately felt terrible. And then the Warriors kind of, proved me to be like the best predictor of all time. And I just have to trust my abilities sometimes. I just have to trust my abilities. Um,
Uh huh.
but yeah, it's very weird. Because I thought what I was really gonna say, I thought Lakers and Grizzlies was gonna be entertaining because of the shit that Dylan Brooks was saying, and like LeBron
Yeah.
keeps track of that shit, even though he says he doesn't. He keeps track of that shit, and he's going to fucking explode. You know what I mean? Do something
Yeah.
crazy, find a way. LeBron still has that fucking LeBron magic. You know what I mean? The LeBron toe, the every team LeBron has faced who has had somebody who fuck with them. The Lance Stevensons, the Sean Stevensons. Deshaun Stevenson? Was it Deshaun Stevenson? It was when he
I don't
played for the
think so.
Wizard. It was when his first time with the Cavs. Oh, it was somebody. It was Lance
I
Stevenson.
can't remember.
It was who else? Who else was being a dick to LeBron? I don't know why. I'm blanking. I'm blanking on his name. But Draymond, like every time you do shit like that, it always comes back to bite you in your ass. So
Yep.
I thought like that was gonna be very interesting, and it is. It just lived up to it. Um, and that is probably. I think LeBron. I think they kind of wrapped that up because see, I don't even fucking know, dude. Because like
It's tough.
Anthony Davis has been so fucking on and off, dog.
Yep.
So on and off, and back to the Cavaliers Knicks because I feel like we kind of shifted off from that. It was just disappointing in the sense that you guys stayed pat. You didn't make any trades. Obviously, the guard play other than Donovan Mitchell and um, Darius Garland. Once you went to your bench, it was kind of shaky. Rubio isn't what he once was.
Hmm.
Also, this is his first year off the ACL, and then Karis LeVert can literally give you 40 one night, and then the next 10 games won't score. So like you obviously had
Yeah.
problems in your guard play, and you just said fuck it. In the playoffs, we're going to cut down the rotation, so they're probably not going to play a lot anyway, rather than going out there and addressing it. So that came back, bite them in the ass because then when Donovan Mitchell couldn't get going and Darius Garland was staying in there, like what are you going to do? Put Karis LeVert in? Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it kind of fucked them up. Um, and on the other side, the Knicks, like we talked about it at work, the Knicks have a path where like we thought they would be a first round exit. Now, going against obviously what happened in the other series, they can find themselves in the fucking Eastern Conference Finals, and and,
Yeah.
and that's legit crazy.
Yep.
Obviously, everybody on one side of it, the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks, are playing with house money right now. Both of the
Hmm.
teams are playing with house money, and then on the other side, it's like, damn, bro, you got to get through. Like you got to get through, like for
Hmm.
both teams, and
Yep.
it's crazy. What's the next series you wanna? I don't know if you wanna hop somewhere else.
Um, I think we should probably go over to Nuggets Timberwolves.
Mm.
I think that was it was an interesting series because it ended in 5. It was, obviously a 4-1 sort of gentleman's sweep, but they were very competitive games.
100%.
It was like the amount of improvement that we saw from Anthony Edwards.
I say,
Like
bro,
he was the best player in the Timberwolves uniform
build
almost this
around
entire series.
Anthony Edwards, bro. And it's sad because Anthony Edwards might end up in a Luka Doncic situation because they made this fucking dumbass trade that hasn't worked, that won't work, that what we when it happened. There's not many trades that we say when it happened it was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
There's not many trades that happen like that. A lot of trades we go, let it see, let it play out, let it do this, let it do that. No, we knew from the rip they gave away way too much, and now you're
Yeah.
in a situation where Cat didn't show up. Cat showed up probably
Yep.
one game, and it was on not efficient. It was just points.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert. probably average a double double, but like that's what Rudy Gobert does. Um, and now you're in a place where like you traded away like 5 picks. I think you traded away like one swap. You traded away Walker Kessler, who fucking ended up being top 3 rookie of the year. Like
I love how you just reversed his name,
it's not yeah, it's Walker Kessler.
Kessler Walker.
That's what I said.
You said Walker Kessler.
Yeah, it is Walker Kessler.
No, I thought it was Kessler Walker.
No, it's Walker Kessler.
Now I have to look this
You
up.
gotta look it up, but it's Walker Kessler. Go ahead, look it up. But like I'm right. It's Walker Kessler.
Oh, it is Walker Kessler. You don't know
Yes.
I'm thinking about Kessler Edwards.
Oh, the
I
fucking with the Kings.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
fucked up. Yeah,
I'm like, bro, I hope so, because like that's what the broadcast be calling them.
yeah.
Like, I hope
No, I was
so.
thinking about Kessler Edwards.
But yeah, like, and then you've seen how like all this is playing out, and it's crazy how both Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert went home in the first round in the same amount of games. It's crazy, but yeah, like you kind of fucking cap yourself a lot because like you don't have to trade Cat, and there's also what is Cat valued right now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he has to play center. He can't play power forward. This whole thing that they tried to experiment didn't work. We know it wasn't going to work because Cat is not a defender. He's not the greatest defender as at the center position, and he's damn sure not a great defender at the power forward position. His feet just not are his feet are just not quick enough to keep up with fours, especially if a team goes small ball. Like he can't keep up with them unless they are
yeah,
like a corner guy. You know what I mean? Like a PJ Tucker, where like there's not going to be much movement of him. He's most likely going to be there in a corner. He's going to stay there while the play, figures itself out, and maybe the ball
yeah,
finds him. Like you're going to have to trade Cat, and
yeah.
obviously I feel like they're going to give it another year, but I don't see anything happening unless like Anthony Edwards becomes fucking a top 10 player that this would work. And even if when he becomes top 10 player, I think that gives you more of an incentive to move Cat.
Exactly. I
So
think I think this should be the year you move Cat, especially since you already have technically a replacement center in Rudy Gobert. The question is where to? Where could you even trade him?
there was a thing. Hold up, let me see if I can find it. Oops, sorry. Let me see if I can find it. But there's teams already kind of hitting up. I won't say hitting up, but like have shown interest in Cat, and the places that
Mm.
they did list did make sense. And I think one of them were Indiana, where it makes sense. Well, it actually does it now. Now that I think about it,
No,
because they just extended.
Turner.
Yeah, so it probably doesn't make sense.
I would
Unless,
say maybe Charlotte.
actually, that could have worked. That actually can probably work
What,
because
Indiana?
because Turner can shoot, and they could play 5 out and let fucking Tyrese Halliburton get busy. I guess. Oh, so it says
Maybe.
MB. It says
But
sorry.
still, are you playing that? You're in the same situation. You're putting Cat at the 4,
No, you can
right?
put Cat at the 5 and then have him defend. It depending on the matchup, you can switch it up.
Okay.
Like if you're
But
gonna
I
get
feel like if that's the case, you're in the same situation as the Timberwolves.
sort of kinda. But okay, it says NBA executives see Heat, Nets, Trailblazers, Celtics, Knicks, and Pacers as a potential landing spot for Carl Anthony
If
Towns.
Carl Anthony Towns gets traded to the Heat, you might as well just say goodbye to Jimmy Butler.
What you mean? They have other
He's
stuff.
there's no way Jimmy Butler wants to play with Carl Anthony Towns
Oh,
again.
again, yeah. Okay, you're right. But Jimmy is matured a little bit,
Uh,
and
I don't think he's matured. I think he's just in a situation with a bunch of other Jimmy Butlers,
yeah, Nets I can
which
see.
is also terrible for
Damn,
Cat.
Nets I could probably see if they go. We give you Nicholas Claxton, who they probably would have had if they kept Walker Kessler. Um,
Yeah, maybe.
Trailblazers they need anything they can get.
Blazers kind of makes sense. I think Charlotte makes sense.
Charlotte makes sense, but like I feel like they're in another situation where it's like we made this trade for this star, but like we have nothing else to like have like because you got to match the salary and you also have to match requirements in a way that is like we're not at a point. The cat doesn't make you a fucking contender. Like
True.
it's the Lamelo Ball. What is Lamelo Ball? You know what I mean? That's why like I feel as though Anthony Edwards being a top 10 player elevates the team, but it's also like it has to be him that elevates because I feel like Cat kind of is who he is. Like so, it has to be the other guy that elevates. Other than Cat is an additional piece. There has to be a number
Yeah.
one place for him to like really thrive. And it's crazy that because like not too long ago, people were like when Cat was first drafted a year or two in his career, like people were like, oh, other than LeBron, we're building around Cat, and that's crazy to
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that he's
NBA, I think coaches or GMs voted like who would you build your franchise around right now if you were starting a new
and it
franchise,
was
and Cat
Cat
was the winner.
was the winner by a billion miles. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The second player was LeBron James, who was probably
Yeah.
like 30, what, 33, 30 at that point. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, and like, I feel as though a lot of players, obviously, Cat is in his, what, ninth, eighth year? Damn. Yeah, he was drafted after
Yeah.
Joel. So that,
This was just finished his 8th year. Yeah.
like, we are finally seeing that, like, he's not the number one. I kind of feel the same way with the well, we're going to get to it eventually. But like yeah, I think for Minnesota, you probably give it another year cuz you feel as though like we found places that worked and they did go on a little stretch a run at the end of the season to lock up the play-in spot, but like are we playing for the play-in? Like are we
Yeah.
satisfied with that? And on the other side, the Nuggets, it was it was it was crazy because like now I kind of feel away about the Nuggets because like
Mm.
in one of those games they had a 30-point lead and they blew
Yeah.
it to the point where the
Yeah.
Timberwolves took the lead. And
Hmm.
then you look on the other side, and we're going to get into the Clippers. I mean, get into the Suns, where like the Suns were, I don't know if they were toying with the Clippers, or they were playing down to their opponent, or that's just who they are. Whereas though like there's nobody playing on the other side for real, but every game was close. So you have a
Yeah.
team that can't really keep a lead, and then you have a team that plays down to the competition. So it's like, which one of those come out? I don't know. Um, but yeah, I guess the Nuggets did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I think it's tough to gauge because the Nuggets were obviously the 1 seed, but at the same time, they had the fourth best record in the league. So it's just one of those things where like I think it just proves even more just how wide open the West actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that I don't want to say struggle, but the fact that they like they had to fight as hard as they did against the Timberwolves. Like it's tough to gauge where exactly the Nuggets probably end up. I mean, if you look at the bracket, they're playing the Suns in the next round. I honestly don't think the Nuggets will be the favorite in that series at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though they were the 1 seed, I don't see really any indication of the Suns possibly losing to the Nuggets.
I,
Like I just don't. I don't see how the Nuggets plan on stopping the combination of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Now, with that being said, obviously the issue with the Suns is that you need every single ounce of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to win these games.
um,
But
before you hop
I
into
mean,
that, before we go like deeper into that, we're gonna hop into that series because that series is already confirmed. Let's hop on the
yeah.
other side of the spectrum. Suns, Clippers, ended in 5 games. For the Clippers perspective, like talk about it for the Clippers perspective.
If I'm the Clippers, this might sound weird coming off of a series where you competed fairly well against a team that had Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton. Like this might sound kind of weird, but I think it's definitely time to blow it up. I think
I disagree, but continue.
I think you have to, not because they don't have potential still. I think the problem is it's always going to be just potential. Like I forget who it was, but somebody said the other day, like Kawhi Leonard is not a player who struggles to like remain healthy. They said he's not a healthy player who struggles with injuries. He's an injured player who struggles to get healthy.
Yeah,
Like it's not a matter of him like having a bad season or off, like no, like he's really just struggles with staying healthy, getting healthy. Like to the point where he took off all of last season basically, and then load managed the hell out of this season, and then played one playoff game.
I wouldn't necessarily say took off because
I,
he
I mean,
tore his ACL, so it's not like
no, I know, but I'm
you know what I
saying you
mean.
were not playing basketball,
It's not.
competitive basketball,
It's not like he
for a
like
year.
he used all the vacation days he saved up and decided, okay, I'm gonna take off.
Like you weren't playing basketball last year, then you come back this year and you barely play, and then you play one playoff game.
Yeah,
Like at that point, and then you have Paul George, who's also an injury prone player. Like ever since he's gotten to the Clippers, really. I guess you could even go back before then. Like he was pretty good in OKC as far as health,
and
but even in
him,
Indiana, like he had some times where he missed a lot of games.
but his injuries were like kind of like Joel's
Freak
injuries,
accidents.
where it's like it's always fucking something. Like you know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
yeah,
And
exactly.
obviously,
Like it's freak accidents. Like it's not like he's just an injured player where he's
yeah,
getting all these non-contact injuries. It's like he goes up for a layup and he falls into the stanchion and cracks his leg in half,
yeah,
or like stuff like
and
that.
still
Where like
finds a way to return that fucking season, which is fucking ridiculous.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
it,
But 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 the point is like the combination of the two of them just doesn't equal a winning formula. Not to say that they can't
Sean,
play together. It's not to say that they're not amazing when they play together. The problem is they will never be on the floor together, especially not come playoff time.
have they been on the floor together in the playoffs?
In the bubble, that was it.
Damn. Like it's like literally it's one or the other, and then this year
Yeah,
they got none. And
it was in the bubble when they got uh knocked out in what, the first or second round? I think second round.
second round. Obviously, I
Doc
think
Rivers last year.
yeah. They got as far as the Western Conference Finals, and that was still just Paul George.
Yep.
Um, this is the
In my
West,
opinion, I think you've had enough years of trying to get them on the floor together,
bro.
and it just hasn't worked.
I don't know if you agree with me on this, but this is the West Coast version of the Brooklyn Nets.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
But
No, it is.
it's not the fucking getting suspended because you're fucking tweeting
Right.
into like it's not that. Both of these
It,
guys are
it's
they're relatively quiet, but it's just the
right.
injuries that's like keeping them off rather than like the bullshit of the Nets.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem. The Nets broke up just in time
Yeah,
because Harden got into a good situation, Kevin Durant got into a good situation. They were both able to go to other teams, and Brooklyn was able to get a fair enough return for them. Like, even though Ben Simmons has been non-existent, they still got Seth Curry and Andre Drummond in that trade as well. With
mm-hmm.
the Kevin Durant trade, like they got Mikal, but they basically got their future back.
ain't
So
it?
like
Ain't it
it happened in enough time where Brooklyn was able to still get something out of it, even though they didn't get the championship that they wanted when they formed the team. I don't know what the fuck the Clippers are supposed to get for Paul George and Kawhi
and
Leonard.
it's on top of that, bro. Going into the season, like I picked them to go to the finals because like not only do they have two of the most important position in the fucking NBA, the wing position. They have two of the most elite on defense, incredible
Yep.
on offense. Kawhi
Yep.
is a fucking robot, and it seems like at times he never
Yep.
fucking misses. And
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 on
then
top of that, they're both
depth,
very, very minimal drama.
right?
Minimal drama.
Kawhi, we don't even know what once he retire, bro, he's gonna be Andre 3000.
We will never see that man again.
We're just gonna see Kawhi walking around fucking L.A. with the fucking flute. Like that's where he's gonna be. He's gonna be
He's gonna
fucking
be Andre 3000.
yeah, bro. He gonna be fucking painting and some shit like that. There's in a fucking field
Yep.
of grass. He's gonna be out there painting.
And
Um,
driving around a 1968 Ford
right, right. Just
F-150.
enjoying life, bro. Like he just seems like that type of person. And the reason I
And
disagree that they
we're just gonna be in the lake somewhere fishing.
yeah, and the reason I feel as though they aren't is obviously the reason that you gave were valid for them to blow it up, but the reason I don't think they will is more so from the financial situation because they're opening up a
Yeah.
new arena. You got to put butts in seats, and they might just constantly year after year might be going. Once we get healthy, no one can fuck with us, which is kind of true. It is kind of true.
It is. But the problem is, once you get healthy, how many years is that down the line? These guys are only getting older. They're both already in their 30s.
Early
Russell
30s.
Westbrook is in his 30s. Like,
And then now on top of
y-
that, Russell Westbrook balled his ass off, and now
exactly.
contract season for him,
Right.
and like Westbrook has to make a decision. Am I gonna go somewhere else where I'm a misused toy and in a situation where like I'm going to be off the bench and the finger's gonna get pointed at me, or do I want to go back
Yeah.
to a system that worked for me? He's gonna be very much because they don't have the money. They don't have the money, and it's crazy because bro,
No.
they're the fucking deepest team, dude. They're either number one or number two, deepest teams in the fucking NBA, bro. Like they
Yep.
have everybody, bro, and everybody. It seems like everybody on their roster is making $10+ million,
Yeah.
and it's crazy,
Yeah.
bro. Everybody on there, and it's smart because this is Jerry West behind this shit, and he's literally signing these players to these contracts, obviously because they deserve it, but also because they become trade pieces when something else is it comes up, and when you have a lot of cap and you have a lot of money, you don't have to trade that many players to make money work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like which a lot of teams kind of come down to, and we go like you'll provide a trade, you just throw out a trade. I'm like, bro, how's the money gonna work? Whereas though they have a
Right.
lot of guys on contracts, where it's like, oh, just throw these three guys together, that's 30 million, boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
Yep.
they're in a very weird situation where it's like, if they could just get healthy,
But how? That's the thing. We've been saying that for 3 years
yeah,
now.
that is the thing.
So, so it's like they've given it more time than Brooklyn has. And see the reason why, and the thing is, like, just like you said, ownership is probably not going to do it because, like you said, they're opening a new arena. You got to put butts in seats. But at the same time, they're not going to do it because all three of them like each other. Like, there's no drama. Like I said, they are very minimal drama locker room guys. Whereas with Brooklyn, the three of them were like, yeah, we're done. Like, it was the players who said it. So, if it wasn't the players who said it, honestly, ownership probably wouldn't have split them up. But, the players kind of made their own decisions in that regard. So they did what they had to do and they got the best return that they could get. And it was a pretty good fucking return. But in terms of in terms of the Clippers, if the players don't say anything, which they most likely won't because they are all in the situations that they ultimately chose, and the ownership doesn't say anything, which they most likely won't because they still have 3 stars who they're kind of need in order to see this new financial endeavor through.
Mhm.
They're probably just going to be in this sort of purgatory forever. And it's weird because you don't say that about teams with stars.
Yeah,
Like, at least not 3 of them. Like, you might say that about like the Blazers who have, fucking Damian Lillard and nobody else,
nobody else.
or the Pacers who have young guys who compete hard, but there's not enough there, or
You know what's
like
crazy to me?
teams that have something but not enough.
It's
Like,
crazy
you
to
never
me.
usually say that about a team that has 3 all-stars, 1 champion, and like both 2 guys who've been to the finals.
It's crazy to me because tell me like if I'm crazy, but it seems like even though they're in LA because of the Lakers, they kind of act like they're a small market team
Yeah.
because they like it just seems like every move, every year they're making a move. Every year they're making a move. They bring
Yes.
something in, and it's like, well, you're still in LA. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
it's crazy because it just feel like they're a smaller market team the way they're maneuvering.
Yep. And see, and it works. What works against them is that they haven't won. That's what works against them. Because if they had won, they would obviously have more of a reputation. But even in spite of the great teams that they've had, though they've had, those teams didn't do shit. Whereas
Facts.
like even when the Clippers were better than the Lakers still had Kobe. Like Kobe had
Right.
5 championships. It was Kobe fucking Bryant. Like you're gonna come see Kobe play. The Clippers had Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, and like yeah, they were good and they had all stars, but they didn't have fucking Kobe. And then now right after Kobe leaves, they get LeBron, and the Clippers are still better, but then like they get Anthony Davis, and then they win a championship, and it's like the Clippers are right back to being irrelevant,
Right.
even though they have 3 fucking stars. Like they're still like, oh yeah, the Clippers. I forgot about them. Yeah, they could probably win it. It's
they
like
could,
you
they could
like you
probably
gotta
win it.
remember them before you remember that they have what it takes to win a championship, but you still just completely forget about them because they've never done it.
Yeah. And on the
At
other
least
side,
not together.
and on the other side, the advancing Phoenix Sun. I think you kind of dived into that on how they Devin Booker averaged damn near 40 for this whole entire series.
Mhm.
Um, Kevin Durant hasn't really even tapped into like what Kevin Durant can be, which kind of bodes scary for the Nuggets, where like your best defender on him is going to be Aaron Gordon, and
Yeah.
that's very crazy. It's very crazy. And it's not what you want. The fact that you got to guard Devin Booker,
Yeah.
Kevin Durant,
And Kevin Durant.
and on top of that, Nikola Jokic says that DeAndre Ayton is the hardest person that guards him best. You're not this
You're
this
not you're not gonna win.
yeah.
What you're not gonna do.
basically is what
Like,
you're doing. What you're saying is not going to win. And obviously, it's not going to
yeah.
be easy. But it's like also everything's factoring in the Phoenix's direction.
Yeah.
Um, MPJ has found his shot a little bit. Nikola Jokic is going to be Nikola Jokic. It's really up to really DeAndre Ayton to limit that in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like even when Rudy Gobert limited Jokic, Jokic still had
Yeah.
43. Like he still had 43,
See,
and we were talking like he limited him because he could have went off for more. But like, what you saying?
yeah.
What you?
No, no, I was gonna say, like, I think the X factor in this game and in this series is gonna be what you get offensively from Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. I know defensively, like Ayton has a lot to do, but at the same time, if you look at this past series against the Clippers, Chris Paul, or I'm sorry, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant played nearly the entire game in every single game. Like, and that offense that you get from them, all those points, they needed every single one of those points. And they were playing in close games with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker playing nearly the entire game each time. So you can't, like, if you need that much of them to outscore the Clippers, who have just Russ by himself, I can't imagine how much you're gonna need to score to outscore Jokic, MPJ, and Jamal Murray combined.
Yeah,
So the Nuggets have a good 3 guys who can go off
and it
for 30 plus any given night.
and it
The
seems
Suns kind of have 2.
yeah, it seems like they have like kind of what the Sixers have had, where they play down to their competition, and then they
Yeah,
elevate their talent to higher competition. So maybe
right.
that is probably in the fact that they weren't taking the Clippers seriously because they knew kind of, once Kawhi went down that they were going to kind of, win it. Um,
Maybe.
so maybe that's the thing, and then also it's like Kevin Durant, Kevin
Maybe.
Durant. Let's not gloss over that name. It's Kevin fucking Durant. Like you know what I
I
mean?
mean, listen, him and Jokic have the same amount of MVPs.
Actually, Jokic has more MVPs.
Oh, right. Yeah. So
That
we
matters.
can't gloss over that name either. Like,
I just feel like Kevin
I'm
Durant.
not gonna say that they cancel out because they don't, but
Yeah. It- Listen, a lot of people talk shit about Kevin Durant's rings, and mostly me. Like, mostly me. But they don't get those championships without Kevin Durant. There's a reason they went and out and got Kevin Durant because they needed him because
yep.
LeBron was sunning these motherfuckers. Like once Kyrie and Kevin Love got back healthy, they were like, "Yep, we need Big Brother," and that's what they went out and got. And they don't win those championships without Kevin Durant. So that's a bad motherfucker, bro. That is one bad motherfucker, bro. Moving over to Boston, Atlanta. You said that you expect them to wrap the series up.
Yeah. I think Boston kind of took their foot off the gas last game. They played hella sloppy down the stretch, and they just gave the Hawks too many chances. I don't think that happens this game. I think Boston kind of just comes out and just goes, pedal to the floor for 48 minutes.
What scares me about Boston is I watched all of the games. This is the first time where like I legit have been watching every game. Like I've watched every game except for the games that
Hmm.
like I'm at work
Yeah.
at during. But like every game that has been available and the times I've been off, I've watched every game. So I've watched all five of these games. And Boston looks like us when we
Yeah.
played the Hawks.
Yeah.
Whereas like they go on these runs, Hawks smash that shit. They go on another run, the Hawks smash that shit. That little period of the game when no teams can score, the Hawks are fucking scoring. Like that like
Hmm.
it just seems like it. So I am not only wanting the series to go longer for my own benefit, but also there's a world where the Hawks can fucking beat this team. Like I feel as though it might be a situation where they push it to game 7 and then the fucking Celtics just pummel them. Like
Yeah.
fuck you, fuck the series, we're getting the fuck out of here. Like
Yeah.
stuff. But I could also see it where like Jason Tatum's like he's averaging like 23
Yeah.
right now in the series, which is weird. I think it's 23 or like this last two games he's averaging 23. I think it is. I don't know if he's
Hmm.
averaging for the whole series, but like Jason Tatum doesn't look right. Um, Jalen Brown has been the best guy, and it's kind of looking like the finals again. Um,
Yeah.
Derek White has been terrific. Malcolm Brogdon has been iffy, even though last game, fucking like literally, the Celtics fans talk about Joe Mazzulla like we talk about Doc Rivers,
Yeah.
and
But the
like
difference is Doc Rivers is not an interim head coach.
no, he's the actual head coach. They signed him to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's the
so okay,
it's
so
it's
Ime is
Jefferson.
officially fired.
No, Ma signed with the fucking Rockets.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Because remember, he
that's
was suspended for a year.
that's kind of crazy. Like if he's still your head coach, but he's also the head coach of some other team. It's fucking crazy.
Right, right.
Um, but like they kind of look like us, and obviously I feel as though they will win. But like I do see the Hawks like they can fuck shit up, bro. And what we have seen in this playoffs is expect the unexpected.
Yeah,
This playoffs has constantly been expect the unexpected. Like
yeah,
Kings went two straight. We think like in my mind, even though I picked the Warriors to win and I stuck by it, and I kind of look smart now. But like even though like once they won those two games, I'm like, dude, the Warriors can't win on the road, and they just dropped two. And obviously, I know they're going home, but all they need is two more. You need four, and now they're up 3-2. It's fucking crazy.
yeah.
Um,
See, here's the thing. Let me talk about that real quick. That Warrior series, because,
mhm.
well, actually, no. Let's finish with the Boston series first. I think either way you slice it, the narrative is crazy in favor of Joe Embiid.
Hell yeah,
Like,
hell
like
yeah.
the storyline of this postseason. First round, you faced the Brooklyn Nets. Even though Ben didn't play, that motherfucker was there.
It was there.
You sweep them. Second round, doesn't matter who we face. If it's Boston, if they win, you are beating the team that number one eliminated you in your first ever
That's your
playoffs,
Pistons. That's your
and number
Pistons.
two swept you in the bubble. First time that there's ever been a sweep between Boston and Philadelphia, and it was in the bubble, and Joel Embiid lost when he was out there by himself because Ben was injured.
Mm-hmm. Fucking
If
Al
it's
Horford.
Atlanta, if it's Atlanta, you're you're destroying the team. You're beating the team that
stopped you.
eliminated you
Yeah, from
when you were the number one seed in the East,
this is a
and
revenge
you were
tour.
supposed to defeat them, and your former teammates, we'll say, because Matisse had some shortcomings in that game 7 as well. But like that game that slipped away from you, that series that you were supposed to win, that team that beat you when you weren't supposed to lose, to get them now in the second round again.
But then push it even farther, the team that eliminated you last year could possibly meet you in the Eastern Conference Finals.
And then exactly, and then
then
the
in the
team that
finals
eliminated you last year
could be
is in
Embiid
the
versus
Eastern Conference
Jokic.
Finals.
The finals
Yep.
could be Embiid versus
And then
Jokic.
the finals is
And he
Embiid
could
versus Jokic.
finally just shut down the fucking
Listen.
debate. Like, that is fucking
Listen.
insane. This is the revenge
Listen.
tour.
It's a revenge tour of epic proportions, because if Embiid wins the MVP this year, wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP over Jimmy in Miami, and then wins Finals MVP over Jokic again, there is not. I don't give a fuck how many more MVPs.
No more, bro. I
don't give a fuck how many more MVPs
more.
Jokic wins. I don't care.
He
That is the
bodied
most
this man.
epic revenge tour of all time.
And I feel like it'll mean more to me going like just like the adrenaline that we'll be pumping if we beat Boston than if we beat Atlanta. Whereas though I feel as though if we play the Atlanta Hawks, that's 5 games max. Like, I don't think the fucking Hawks is gonna fuck with the Sixers. Like, even though
I don't think so either.
As much as they've shown against Boston, they're a matchup for Boston because they're just like Boston. I feel like Boston kind of fails to like guard the perimeter.
Yeah.
And Sixers obviously are the best shooting 3-point team this year, so that might come back and bite them in the ass anyway. But their best guys, some of their majority of the best guys are 3-point shooters. And then obviously two of our guys, I mean, I guess James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, who was like top 5 in shooting. But then, on the other side, they had two guys that were in top 5 in shooting percentages. But, we don't really count Al Horford because that shit kind of fluctuates. He doesn't take a lot of attempts. So it's like.
Exactly.
That, but like. See, first they got to get out of here. Because, like, people, there's like, the Sixers are like posting shit like, immaculate vibes that everybody's in practice, just joking around, laughing and shit like that. And like Celtics fans are on there like, yo, y'all laughing, y'all doing shit, and we gonna destroy you. I'm like, bro, y'all gotta get out of here. That's round first. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Y'all gotta get out of here.
Beat the Hawks first. How about that?
You gotta beat the Hawks first, bro. And it's just, for me, I think we got two more series to talk about. For me, this is the best shot we have. Like, I don't think we'll ever have this again.
Now, see, here's the thing, though. This is what I want to say. Even though this is a great opportunity, I feel like the opportunity might still be here next year. Not because, now, granted, I'm not saying it will still be here next year if we lose. I'm saying even if we were to win the championship this year, next year, I feel like we actually have probably just as much opportunity, because number one, the Heat are going to make some changes. Whether those are positive or negative, we don't know.
I feel
the
like
Celtics are probably going to make some small changes, but at the same time, if we just beat them, how much do we worry about them again?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Bucks are definitely making. I think Coach Bud probably gets fired by the time.
No, hell yeah, he's
Coach Bud probably gets fired
bro.
by the time the second round
over.
ends.
Oh, like, bro, it was Brett Brown all over again, bro. Saving your fucking time. What the fuck you gonna save them for next round? Hey, we're gonna get to that. That shit pissed me the fuck off, dude. That shit pissed me off. Let's go Lakers, Memphis, and I think that leads us into the last one we will talk about. The one that
Well,
is.
wait. I thought we were talking about the ones that were over already.
Well, we were. I was just kind of going down the
We
list.
were saving the Bucks Heat for last. We didn't do
No,
it
we
yet.
are. I said Memphis, Lakers, and then that's the last one would be Bucks Heat.
Oh, are we doing all the series and then Bucks Heat? I thought we were just doing all the ones that were over and then all the ones that are still going.
Well, I was kind of I was just going in order of how they laid out right here. So
All right, well, it don't matter. Which
I
one you
mean,
want to talk about?
no, only literally is Memphis Lakers, then Bucks Heat. That's like literally
Oh,
it.
okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Memphis Lakers. This is not updated. It is 3-2 now. Um, Memphis came out, showed their ass.
Mhm.
Just that we're not going home. Obviously, I do think the Lakers will win it. And then my
Mhm.
prediction is right again. I said Lakers in 6. But this really depends so much on what Anthony Davis does
Yeah, exactly.
because he's like literally every other game, bro, and it's fucking crazy.
And on top of that, they need him so bad that their plus minus when he's on the floor drops like 40 points when he's off the floor. They go from like plus 30 to like minus 15.
Going into the series, I said that obviously Steven Adams is not there. Jaren Jackson gets in foul trouble a lot, which has happened and which has shown.
Mhm.
And I was like, Tillman has a lot to handle. Second game, the game that they won, Tillman had 22 and 13.
Yep.
He is constantly just bang Anthony Davis in a way like he's very much like he's basically PJ Tucker build. He has a
Mhm.
PJ Tucker build where it's like it's built to last, and like an Aaron Baines for like Joel. Like this is kind of what
Yeah.
Xavier Tillman has been, and he's
Yeah.
just been
Like
amazing.
you
Like
being bigger than me, you being bigger is not going to affect me at
it
all.
feels like every offensive rebound is his. Like
Yeah.
like he's
Yeah.
he's been amazing. He's not his averages aren't great, but like he's the decoy. He's basically
Yeah.
the decoy. Like you're gonna get beat up a lot. You're gonna take this. You're gonna take that. But like if we win, it's because of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this playoffs, he is averaging 10 and 8.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Kevon Looney is the same way.
Yeah, same exact way. Where it's like they don't look like they should be there, but they give 110. They're like little Dennis Rodmans, and like
Yeah.
they're just everything, every board, every rebound, every tip. Like it's just even if
Mhm.
they don't get the fucking rebound, they're tipping it to somebody, and it goes
Yep.
there, and somebody fights for his shit, and it's just like every time. Um, so it's 3-2. I do think the Lakers wrap it up. Um, I think that it's over. Obviously, Ja gets injured. Ja comes back, and it's like he never was injured, and it's fucking
Yeah.
insane. Obviously, every time he hits the floor, he's grabbing at his hand. Um, and it's hard.
Because he hasn't fucking learned anything. See, that's the thing that I hate about these guys. These smaller but hyper athletic guards like John Morant, Allen Iverson, Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook. Like Russell Westbrook hasn't been quite as bad. I think he's kind of calmed down as much, like a little bit in his later years. But like, bruh, stop fucking jumping into people.
Not
Like just
every
like
play has to be a fucking highlight play.
exactly. Like calm the fuck
Did
down.
you did you see the thing? It was every once every game, and Ja Morant does this, and it's fucking Jeff Hardy jumping from the top
Yeah.
of the thing, like
Yeah, I did
literally,
see that.
bro. It's like
I
Jeff
saw that.
when he jumped from the top of the fucking Titantron. It's like, bro, what
Because
the
he's
hell?
because you're just jumping with like no plan. Like the
Yeah.
plans just go over him. Like that you can't do that on everybody. You can't just jump over
That
everybody.
that fucking play with
Everything is
LeBron,
not
bro.
a poster.
That play with LeBron, bro. I was like, oh shit, he's dead. Like,
He's dead.
he's fucking dead. He's dead, bro. He's dead. Cause like the way
He's
his
dead.
body like turned in the air, and it was
Yeah.
like he was gonna hit all back, and then it looked like he was about to brace himself with his hand that was already injured, and I'm like, dude,
Exactly.
I like you just
Stop going and see. It was the same way. I always felt the same way with Joel, but Joel kind of got it together though.
Yeah,
Stop going up for dunks if you don't know how to land.
but what it helped Joel, I think, is that Joel put on weight. so he can't like when his rookie year he was jumping at every fucking thing. Remember when he
Yeah,
fucking made that play when he was against the New York and he jumps over fucking Regina Hall? Like he jumps
yeah,
over her to save the ball, and
right,
like the ball still goes out of bounds. So it's like you did that shit, and you could have injured
bro.
yourself. Like, he ain't doing that shit no more.
Exactly. But what always used to
He had to
get me
learn
was
though.
when he would. What always used to get me was when he would go up for dunks and he would just hold on to the rim for like no fucking reason,
Yeah.
and his body would just swing. And as he's swinging, then he lets go. It's like, why would you let go
Mm.
now? What are
Every
you doing?
bro, every time he does a fucking chase down block, I fucking cringe. Like I cringe
Yes.
so fucking much.
Yes,
And
because
like,
you know you are not going to be able to catch yourself.
and
Why are you running
it's
like that?
crazy because because we have that PTSD of Joel going down, and
Right.
like the crowd going quiet, and like
Yeah.
everybody's face going fuck. But it seems like Joel does that shit and he pops up, like and it makes me so fucking mad. The times where I think it's the worst. This motherfucker just pops up, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
But see, that doesn't even I get no comfort from that whatsoever because he's got that mentality, which I admire, where he'll just get up and he'll finish the game.
Bro
But then
sprained his
after the game's
knee,
over, it's like, oh, by the way, on that play, yeah, he tore his meniscus. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what you
bro. Like,
he got up. It's like, yeah,
bro,
he got up and finished the game, but he tore his
bro
meniscus. He's out
sprained his
next game.
knee,
It's
and
like, what
then
the fuck do you mean?
bro sprained his knee, and then had a fucking game blocking fucking block, game blocking block. That's what I said. He had a game
Yeah.
saving block. And it's like
Right.
he got up high as shit. And I was like, it
Exactly.
reminds you that, oh shit, he can still jump. And then
Then after the game, you're like, oh, he sprained his knee.
sprained his knee.
Like, what?
and it could be, we don't know the grade on it. And it's like,
Exactly.
this could be a week injury, or it can be a month. Or he could, it was one report, John Clark,
He'll
who works
play
for,
with a brace on.
yeah,
Like some
that, not
shit.
even
Yeah.
that. There was John Clark, who works for NBC Philadelphia, and he said, he interviewed with like a doctor, and he was like, yeah, Joel Embiid is this situation is weird because he hasn't done, he hasn't seen Joel, he hasn't, like examined his knee, so he doesn't know where he's at. All
Mhm.
signs is pointing that he will play, but like what he was breaking down was like Joel can play game one and be 60% for the rest of the series, for the rest of the playoffs, or he could play game three and be 90% for the rest of the series. And it's
Late by
like,
then.
it's too, like, we can't fuck around. And it's like,
It's the same as the fucking Miami series.
like, but that one is more so. I think Joe has played through that, so I think it was hard for him because like he was airballing shots that he
Yeah.
never does. Like his vision was not equal at all.
Right.
It was not his depth perception. It was not good. And he still fucking found a way. Joel just finds fucking ways to do shit that
But
just
but
fucking
I'm saying
amuses
like
me.
by game 3, we
We're
might be
down
down
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Like that's the problem.
And him coming back still doesn't mean nothing because, like, even though I feel like we could beat them, if we're down 2-0, it's, if we beat them down 2-0, that's like
Miracle.
a fucking miracle. Like, it would take someone getting injured on the other side,
Right.
someone being banged up. Not, I don't want to wish injury on someone, but like someone being banged up, hypothetically, someone being
Yeah.
banged up, someone missing a game, someone getting suspended, like some bullshit. Like put literally in the last series in Brooklyn, and then we're gonna go to the last topic, the last team of the
Bucks
day.
Heat.
Yeah, Bucks Heat. There was literally a time, and I fucking hate Montrezl Harrell. Not the person, the player. I hate him.
Mhm.
I literally said I hate fucking Doc for playing him, and then I hate him for beating him. Like, I literally have said this. But there was a time where I was like, put Montrezl in.
Put Montrez in. Yeah.
Not because I wanted
Please,
him
for
to
the love of
play.
God.
Not because I
But
wanted him
just
to
get
play.
Joel out.
Not even because I wanted Joel. I was like, oh, this game is getting physical.
Yes.
Put
Yeah.
fucking Montrez in, let him foul Nick Claxton, and then take him out. Like,
Yep.
put him in just the fucking Dennis Rodman, let him go for a layup, him just fucking push him just to show him
Yep.
what the fuck we about. And, like, you might have come to a situation where, like Paul Reed is good, like, and I feel like, obviously, should be way over, like, Montrezl Harrell should be the fucking 6-string center, and we only got 4. Like he should be down there, but in a situation like this, like Montrezl Harrell could get under somebody's skin, and like we
Yeah,
might need
exactly.
that. Like we might just need him use his 6 fouls, all hard fouls, questionable
Yeah,
flagrants. Like we might need that,
questionable flagrants.
right? Questionable flagrants, because like
Ejection, maybe.
you know what I mean. Like you know what I mean. We
Yeah,
don't really need you for the whole game because we have Domain Dedman. You know he can come in and be serviceable, and it's
yeah,
like but like we might need that irritant because they have one. We
yeah.
might need it. Like and PJ is that, but like he's more so of an irritant that people respect. Like, oh yeah, it's
Also, we
fucking
need
PJ.
him.
Yeah, like we also need him.
Like, also, we kind of
We
fucking need
kind
you.
of need him, bro. We kind of need him, and
It's like Draymond. Like Draymond's an irritant, but we need you.
they,
So
they
chill the fuck out.
fuck up sometimes. You know, I love
Yeah.
you. Like Curry has to be like, bro, I love you so much, but like stop
Thank
like
you, but
stumping on
stop.
people. You know, like
Yeah.
stop stumping on people, please. You know, but like Montrezl Harrell, if Joel's not available, and obviously I think he's available either way. But
Hmm.
if Joel they choose to not, to sit him to make sure he's fully healthy or as close to full health, that he could be. Like Montrezl Harrell might need to get in there just to like muck some shit up. Like you know what I mean? And it sucks because like other than fucking Robert Williams, everyone else kind of spaced the floor. So
Yeah.
Montrezl Harrell on the island, even though it's Al Horford is quicker than Montrezl Harrell, who was crazy. A 40-year-old Al Horford is
I don't know
quicker.
if Al Horford's quicker than Montrezl Harrell. I think
He's
he's
more
just
skilled.
better.
He's
Yeah.
more skilled. He's been in a situation more than Montrezl Harrell. Then
Yeah.
he would
It's
know.
not like I'm gonna drive past you because I'm quicker. It's I'm gonna drive past you because I just know when to drive
Yeah.
and you
So that
don't know
and
how
that
to backpedal.
yeah, in that situation that what I mean, that's what I meant in a way.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, like you might need to. Hopefully, Joel, was the latter, which was like the week to 2 week injury. He wears the brace. Oh, I hate Joel and brace. I hate Joel and brace because it's like he plays to it a lot. He plays with it, and it's like, bro, stop fucking touching it. It's like a kid with a scab. It's like, bro, leave it the fuck
Yeah.
alone. Like he's pulling
Yeah.
it up, pulling it down, like tightening it. And I'm like, dog, stop fucking touching it. And it gives me so much
Yeah.
anxiety. It gives me so much anxiety. Like, stop
Yeah.
fucking touching it. It's bad enough you
And
got
it's
it
the same
on.
way with the mask. Like, stop taking it off.
Did you? It was a play. Okay, then we're going to Bucksy. I'm sorry, it's fucking Sixers podcast basically. Like the majority of Sixers podcast. There was a play. This was the first time we played Miami. The first time we made it to the playoffs. It was a play where they thought Joel, like they were signaling for a timeout. Joel takes off his mask. Goran Dragic, before Brett Brown called a timeout, steals the ball, and his mask is off, and he still fucking finds a way to get back into play and make a fucking
And,
block.
yeah, make the
When he's
block.
like literally, he's damn near turned around, and he makes the
Hmm.
fucking block. It's fucking insane. That's enough Sixers talk. We're just Sixer fans, so like it's gonna happen.
We gotta find something to talk
We
about.
gotta
We've
find
been
something
at
to talk
home for
about.
days.
They're at home and they're smiling, and I'm happy right now, not talking about them until we do, because it's like it just feels like second round. We got the second round blues every year, but like hopefully this year is different. Actually, no, I'm using all my powers, all of my prediction powers.
I feel like it doesn't work when you call on the powers. You just have to let them flow. Just what do you think is gonna happen?
What do I think is going to happen? Sixers win the championship.
Okay.
Sixers win the championship, bro.
Okay. All right. Let's get into the upset. So there was some discussion this morning about how did this happen. In my opinion, you can sum this up with 3 points. Number 1, terrible coaching.
1,000%,
Number 2, playoff Jimmy is a real thing.
100%.
Number 3, Giannis missed 2.5 games.
Not only that,
In my opinion, those are the 3 biggest factors in this series.
and I want to add on to the last point you had. Giannis missed 2.5 games. I feel as though I've seen Giannis play through an injury to his knee where it looked like his fucking knee didn't the fuck in. It looked fucking nasty. It was kind of like what Joel had, that hyperextension knee. And they
Yeah.
won a championship. This play didn't look as bad, but obviously precautionary reasons. It seemed like he could play through it. Like to me, it seemed like this is all right. It hurts. He's going to be a little slow this game. He's going home, ice it. He's going to play the next game. What I really think this is, and it might sound fucking crazy, and because of the outcome of the game, and you might go, well, obviously he's going to get back as soon as possible. But to me, it felt like after game 2, they felt like they could rest Giannis, and I think the fucking Bucks looked over the Miami Heat. Like I legit think that they were like, all right, we need Giannis for the second round healthy, and they looked over that. Like I really feel like if Joel falls down and that fucking injury, Joel's going to fucking play. There's nothing stopping Joel from playing, but the fucking somebody saying something's broken. Like there's nothing stopping Joel.
And even then, the thing that's broken has to be like important, because
if
it's just his face, he'll probably still go.
Bro was playing with a fractured finger, a bruised orbital bone, a fucking broken. Like he's done everything, and like Giannis is on that same level, and if not more than like Joel, that will play through that shit. Which it makes me think like, bro, like they overlooked him, and this is the true definition of your play in the fucking NBA.
Exactly. And not only that, you're playing against a team that, sure, they're missing Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo,
which I think is going to
but this is the same team minus PJ Tucker that was in the final that was the number 1 seed last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were the number 1 seed last year. There's 3 guys that are missing from that team, and none of them are Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo. They're only 2 All-Stars.
And what I would say is that very much reason, if we're gonna hop into Miami side, Milwaukee side, staying on Milwaukee. Fucking Mike Budenholzer, like I said, should be fired after this podcast. Grayson Allen should never be put in that situation to where he has to make a decision. Because like legit, the 3 was there and he did not know what to do. There was a J.R. Smith moment.
Well, I'm okay with him not taking the 3. But the problem is him not knowing how much time he needed, because they only needed a 2 to tie the game. It would have been into double overtime.
Oh yeah,
I would have been perfectly fine with that. I would have been perfectly fine. Take the shot that's easiest for you. If that's a 2, take the 2. That's all we need right now.
And he didn't even get it off
but
in time.
But know when to shoot it.
And he didn't even get it off in time.
And here's the problem. It really comes down to him just not knowing how much time is on the clock, because he actually had a perfect opportunity for a perfect mid-range jumper or a floater. He was wide open.
If you look at the play and you look at his reaction, that play broke.
No, it did.
And he's like, I was supposed to be in the corner. Like I was supposed to be in the corner. What am I doing?
No,
what am I doing? Like
the play most definitely broke. But my thing is, you still have to know how much time is on the clock.
100%.
Regardless, you need to be counting in your head. Like you need to be just counting down. Look at the clock before the play starts. Okay, 7 point whatever seconds. Okay, as soon as that ball gets inbounded, I'm counting down in my head. I'm moving and doing shit, but my primary focus is just count down in your head and know how much fucking time is on the clock.
And like it was a failure. Obviously, they had a chance, but it wasn't really a chance, because even if he got the shot off and it went in,
they go to double overtime.
No, he didn't get off in time.
No, I said even. You said even if he gets the shot off and it goes in.
Oh well, I mean, even if the shot goes in, it still doesn't count because he didn't get it off in time.
Oh yeah.
And for Milwaukee,
but he had a shot though. He had an opportunity. His defender, he went up like with a pump fake at the 3-point line, and his defender blew by him, and he drove to the basket, and right in that mid-range zone, he was wide open. There was nobody around him. He had the perfect opportunity to just put up a mid-range jump shot or a floater or a runner or whatever, and he just didn't. He just kept going at the basket and tried this like little Euro step thing, and it's just like, bruh, by the time your second foot hits the ground, the game will be over.
Game is fucking over. And Giannis went to the podium. They asked him, was this year a failure? He brought up Michael Jordan. And what I would say
I didn't like that.
This is what I'm going to say to that. Would Michael Jordan consider the 9 years he didn't win a championship a failure? Hell fucking yes.
Not only that,
Hell yes.
they weren't. Not only that, the Bulls weren't the 1 seed in those years.
They weren't. No, they weren't in the one seed
Like they weren't
years.
the number
And
one
the
seed.
team that beat them won the championship
Exactly.
both times. And it's like Jordan, hell yeah, would consider this a failure. You're a
Yeah.
mentor. You, the guy who told you to go win a championship, the guy who told you to go do this shit, Kobe Bryant, would have definitely said that shit as a failure. Not only
Yeah.
would he say that shit is a failure because it happened, but because you were scared. Watching this
Yeah.
game, Giannis was scared to get
And
fouled.
that was so disappointing because the year they won the championship, he was a bad free throw shooter then.
But he kept going.
And what did he do?
He just kept
He
fucking
went
going.
out there and knocked down them fucking free throws.
It's very disappointing, and it's very weird because like when a team gets upset, you kind of go, "What's next?" But in the same way, in the same breath, it's like Giannis was out the first 2 games, but it's also like
Right.
it was a
It's
poor
the same as the
judgment.
Clippers.
Yeah, it's a poor judgment, and I feel like Giannis gets the edge because he already has a championship. That it kind of like it is not like bringing him under. It kind of more so brings him back to life. That he's a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like I guess you just bring the guys back. Obviously, I think you got to pay some people. Jay Crowder, I think you have to pay. If I'm not mistaken, Grayson Allen is another guy.
How much you think Grayson Allen gets paid after that?
I'll be honest with you, he's still going to get paid. He's still going to get paid.
He's
Because
still gonna get paid, but
he was like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. They're just
Yeah.
not going to close. You know, he's not the the person the ball should be in the hands unless he's in the corner and someone passes it to him for 30. Like he should not be that
Yeah.
guy. He's never been that guy. He never will be that guy. So it's like he's still gonna get paid. Obviously, people are gonna look at that shit and it's gonna be something that haunts him a little bit. But like at the same time, the play broke. I did what I thought was right, and it was a big clusterfuck. And what happened.
yeah.
On the Miami side of things, it is very weird.
Himmy
Jimmy
fucking
Butler. Remember how we were talking about like if Miami lost this series with like Jimmy, we could put him in a trade package to bring him back to Philly. That shit is not
That's
happening.
not happening.
It's not
That's not
fucking happening. It's
happening at
not fucking happening at all. It's amazing to see what Jimmy did. Fucking historic performances. I think he had like the tied for the fourth best scoring outing in playoff history. Just a fucking dog hitting this crazy ass shot that should not have went in. Should not have went in.
98,
And that
98 plus points
dude,
in combined in 2 consecutive playoff
and then,
games.
that's
Him
another
and
reason.
Michael Jordan.
Another reason, Jimmy Jordan. There's another reason Coach Bud should be fired. Obviously, in that last play, for when Jimmy hit the layup, that they had time on the clock, so they could have taken a shot.
But they could have took a timeout.
Yeah, they could have taken a shot. No, I'm talking about the Heat in that last.
Yeah.
They could have obviously with time. I forget how much time was left in the clock. But they could have got time to get pass, dribble, shot. So when he takes out Brook Lopez, and I forget who he put in, but it wasn't Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is blocking that shit. He is blocking that shit. He is the way Jimmy was contorting his body and how damn near he has to throw it up. Brook Lopez is that is the equivalent of me playing against my fucking nephew and just not jumping, just swatting that shit. But he
At
takes
least
him out.
making it very, very
At least make it
difficult. Like
very
just
difficult.
blocking his sight at the rim.
Even just the way that he was leaning, I just think Brook would have just destroyed that shit.
Maybe.
But
yeah.
but even we'll never know, and they have to
We'll
wait
never know.
till next year to find out, and that's very insane. Miami not having Tyler Hero for the rest of the playoffs. I'm not sure what that was. Maybe obviously I know the injury, but I don't know. What did they say he's not going to be there the rest of the playoffs because they assumed that Miami was going to lose, or is he not going to be in the rest of the playoffs because the injuries that crucial. So I don't know what that stands at, but if he's out for the playoffs, that's going to hurt them, especially against the Knicks.
I mean, I think he's out. He's out for the entire playoffs. He's set to get surgery on Friday.
oh,
tomorrow.
Does he not do that because like I'm like, well, we farther than
Well,
we expected. You know,
I mean, it's a hand injury and
it's a
it's a
shooting
shooting
hand.
hand,
So yeah, and
so I
then
don't know.
you lose Victor
I mean,
Oladipo.
Ja has a hand injury on the shooting hand, but I don't know if I think Tyler's is more severe though.
Yeah, I mean he broke. Like they're broken.
Yeah.
And I think Ja has a fracture, and I think Darren Fox also has a fracture in his fingers. So this is the playoff for fingers. You fuck up your
Hmm.
fingers. Um, but also VO going down and him being out probably in
Or no, I'm sorry. Tyler Hero's surgery was last Friday. My bad.
oh, so it's over. All right.
Yeah.
Um, who knows? I don't know how long a finger takes to
Says
heal.
he's expected to miss at least 6 weeks.
Oh well, it puts him in the NBA Finals. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
um, but this that not having him, not having Victor Oladipo, prayers up to Victor Oladipo. It was just sad seeing him go down and watching that game, and it was like he had no emotion because he's
yeah.
been there before.
Hmm.
Like and he like you see if you read his lip, he's saying it's over, and it was like so sad. Like knowing somebody's reacting crazy, they're on the ground like thriving in pain. He's just holding his fucking knee with the blanket stare, and it was
Yeah.
so fucking sad. So prayers up to him. Literally,
Yep.
I was saying last podcast, Victor Oladipo is a player that I wouldn't mind the Sixers going to get. He could defend. If he could catch and shoot threes, he's a good player. He might be missing all of next year.
Victor Oladipo is one of the. It's ironic because they played for almost like all the same teams, but he's in the Paul George boat for me. Like he's a player who, when he's healthy, he can be really great, but he has had some pretty gruesome
and
injuries throughout his career,
what
and they haven't, like, just like Paul George, they haven't been like consecutive, where like you're
they've been
looking at like a
timely though.
Kawhi situation,
Yeah,
where like he has a bad injury almost every year, but like it's bad injuries that come often enough that it makes you question whether or not you should want someone like that on your team.
and what I would say was is that this is a re-injuring of a thing he already had, which is
Hmm.
scary because like literally the first question that a lot of people were saying is this the end of Victor Oladipo. Like that's
Right.
how severe this injury is, and for it to
Right.
be the same one that they repaired probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Is this the end? Victor Oladipo said no, he's going to return, and it's crazy because like VO what 30 years old,
Yeah.
and he's still like he's not as athletic as no more as you would see as you wouldn't feel like he shouldn't be. He's kind of taking that
Yeah.
D Rose route where like he's shooting the ball more and more jump shots. It sucks because like in that game he helped turn it around. Like the Bucks had a lead. He was going crazy. He had an and one. Um, it just sucks because like
Victor Victor Oladipo was honestly, I crazily drafted the same year as Giannis.
yeah, he was
If
actually
you
drafted. He was
and
drafted
if you
number
look
two.
at their
Yeah,
Yep, and if you look at their careers, you would think that Victor Oladipo has been in the league like 5 years longer than him.
this is Victor Oladipo's last his tenure with the Heat. First year with the Heat, 4 games, but that also he played for the Rockets and the Pacers that year. So
Yeah.
he played 9 games with the Pacers, 20 games with the Rockets, 4 games with the Heat that year. The next following year, 8 games. This year 42, which was the most he's had played since 17-18. And Victor Oladipo
Yep.
was not like an Iron Man before this shit, but like he was not a guy who had crazy injuries.
Right.
And it's just like
Right.
everything just boom 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 boom. It's hard for him to get up, and it's kind of like the DeMarcus Cousins situation. Um, whereas like Boogie's, unfortunately, his injury happened contract year. Whereas though it
Yeah.
wasn't like a Clay Thompson, where like if Clay Thompson, do they bring him back? I think they
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
I think they do bring him back because he's not athletic. Boogie.
Well, the Warriors and shooting is not something that
You,
you lose. Like
I mean, obviously,
it's not something that's super dependent on athleticism.
but he does shoot with his legs though.
So it's like he does, but it's at the same time that's a straight up and down jump. Like his form is very solid. It's not like a Russell Westbrook where he literally jumps into his shot.
Shake Milton.
Like Russ jumps into his shot. He jumps forward and then does a jump shot.
No,
Play literally is straight
fucking
up and down.
Draymond Green's jump shot, bro. Like he has a fucking backpack on. Um, yeah, but like back to the main thing,
Yeah.
keeping the main thing. The Heat move on. That next we could talk about that next series too because it's set. Um, does Milwaukee just like run it back? I mean, like you would think they were running back because they were the number one seed. They were best team in basketball. Injury to Giannis, like run that shit back.
Yeah, I would assume so. The problem is, do you run it back with
No, he's
with
gone.
Coach Bud?
He's fucking gone. If he returns,
Because
they're high. They're fucking high.
here's the problem. Here's the problem. Everything you just said, they did with Coach Bud.
Yeah. Well, also won a championship.
Now granted, the Sixers did the same thing, right?
It took
They
them
were number three
forever.
seed 2 years in a row, made it to the second round of the playoffs 2 years in a row, had the number one offense in the league for a little while, like with Brett Brown.
Mm,
But the difference is when it came time to make the decision, they made the wrong decision.
yeah.
Like when it came
They did
time
it too
to
late.
choose between when they came I wouldn't even say they did it too late. I mean, yes, they did it too late, but I would say when it came time to make a choice between Brett Brown and Jimmy Butler, because as we know, Jimmy had a little bit of a list of things that, you know, he wanted in order to return, including a max contract, but also there was some suggestion that he didn't enjoy playing for Brett Brown
Didn't
and
like
that
playing with Ben
he
Simmons,
didn't like playing with Ben Simmons and
but
had
love
some
Joel.
gripes with ownership. So the question is, if all the players are cool with Coach Bud and he has accomplished the things that he's accomplished, including winning a championship, and even in a year when they didn't win, still having the number one record in the league, like, do they make that decision now?
Correction. Grayson
Or
Allen
does
is
it have to get worse before it can get better?
correcting myself. Grayson Allen does have a contract for next year. He is a free agent in 2024. But the
Okay.
Bucks going into this year. Oh my fucking god, dude! Chris Middleton is has a player option. Brooke Lopez is unrestricted, which I think he probably comes back because he probably
Yeah.
loyalty, won a championship, revived his career. Javon
Also,
Carter,
nobody's going to use him as well as
yeah,
as well as the
yeah.
Bucks, except for maybe Boston
Javon Carter, who played a
or
very
Miami.
exceptional, has a player option. Wesley Matthews probably out the door. Dennis coming back. They're signing him to a fucking max contract just because who his brother is.
Yeah,
Um,
they're signing him to a lifelong deal. He gets the Udonis Haslam deal.
Joe. I mean, that's basically where he is at this point. Joe
Yeah,
Ingles. Joe Ingles. I don't know whether to bring him back or not. Joe Ingles is kind of old, so Joe Ingles might just retire. Being honest. Um,
yeah,
Jay Crowder, Miles Leonard, who they brought back from the dead. And Gordon Dragic, who probably might retire. Like they have a lot of guys that
yeah.
I expect them to bring back Chris Middleton. I expect probably Chris Middleton probably just accepts his player
Player
option.
option, yeah,
I think Javon Carter accepts his player option. But like Joe Ingles, Goran Dragic, they might just fucking retire. Um, and Brooke Lopez, I expect to resign. But I also don't know how their cap space work. But then I expect Brooke Lopez has been there for a while, so he probably has bird. They probably have the bird rights to
yeah.
him, so he probably go above the cap. But it's
Bird
also
rights is just a year. If all you have to do is be there for the year
no, it's
to
for
have
three.
the bird rights.
No. You either have to be traded or have to be with a team for 3 years.
Yeah, he's been with them for he's
Oh,
been with them for 3 years, but also he was traded there, wasn't he? In the first place.
no, he signed with them
Oh, okay.
because remember he was a free agent going out of L.A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, after 3 years you get bird rights. Yeah, it was a free agent coming out of
Okay.
L.A. So they, a lot of these guys are replaceable, But it's also if Chris Middleton opts out, want a no longer contract. Brook Lopez, hey, bro, I was almost defensive player of the year, but he's also older. Like Brook Lopez is kind of one of those players you kind of want on your team because like he understands who he is. So like he's not
Like a
going.
Al Horford.
Yeah, he kind of like I'll take less. You know, like
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
want to compete. Like you know what I mean. I'll just y'all guys gave me my first championship. He looks to be that guy. So it
yeah,
doesn't hurt them that much, but they do have to fill some holes. Um,
yeah.
and Grayson Allen was already on the trade block this year for them. Does that happen? Every team needs shooting. Um, yeah, so maybe I don't know. That's kind of weird.
See, that's the thing. Like the Bucks, there's oh, excuse me. They're looking at possibly a busy offseason.
Yeah, because they got if they want to make moves, they got to get rid of guys. They got to trade that actually because if you like I said, resign Brooke, you resign um even if he accepts his player option, like you got to move through trades most likely.
Yeah,
Um,
and they have to make a coaching decision.
yeah, because like players like care about effort. Like when
Yeah,
they're joining a team, when you're signing for a team, and obviously they won a championship, and this might just be an outlier. But like players are gonna look at that shit and go, "Oh,
yeah,
I'll sign with the Bulls." like, I'm getting more time there. Um,
yeah.
Now I'm looking at all these options because it gives you a full list of like who's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
And I low key want to see like how I know who the Sixer free agents are, but like I low key want to George Niang, Jalen McDaniels, Paul Reed is restricted. Oh shit. Montrezl Harrell has
I
a player
mean,
option. Hopefully he declines it. Huh?
depending on the depending on the market, I don't know what you do with Paul Reed. Honestly,
Cause like I'm like he kind of gets that Furcon deal where it's like 3 years 15,
I
probably
don't know.
three
I don't
years
know if
20.
you see. That's the thing. I want them to stop doing that.
What?
Like, stop doing that. Stop just offering them this money, and then it's more money than anybody else would offer them.
But this is my thing. The
Like, they
fur you
can't
know
trade them
this, but like the further you go in a playoff series, or like the more
for
like
$5 million.
are
Uh huh.
you hear me?
No, I can hear you.
No, because you glitched out for just for a second. Um,
Oh, my bad.
uh, the further you go into the playoff series, that's why like literally your home team, your home like coverage only lasts the
Yeah,
first round. The more and more
yeah,
you're on national TV, gets the more and more that the teams are watching these players, and they're going, I might be able to use this. I might be able to
yeah,
bring this player in. Like even if it's not like elite player, but they might this guy might be able to like rub off on this guy, and then I have two guys that can play like this. Like you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
the scouting
Like a
becomes a
Jalen Brunson.
yeah. Like they go, oh shit, we could probably like we can. He could be a starting point guard in this league, and then you
Yeah.
invest in him, and it works out and pans out. Obviously, not always, but like it's very weird. Wait, let's go to this before we wrap up. Um, there's one more series that is set, and that is the Knicks versus the Miami Heat.
Well, no, there's a couple. There's
No, that's the Denver, Phoenix, and Miami, New York are the only things that set.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. You're right. Um, Knicks Heat. I don't know what to make of this series. Um, I don't know what to make of this series because it's the product of two other series that didn't end the way that I thought they would.
Hey, bro, the Knicks Miami Heat, bro. They're known for their series in the past where like the team is that wins scores like 89, and that might be the
Yeah.
same way now. That's the
I mean,
craziest part.
I, listen, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because I don't know who on the Knicks is going to be able to slow down Jimmy Butler. I don't know who on the Heat is going to be able to slow down Jalen Brunson. I feel like Bam and Julius Randle more or less cancel each other out. So it's
And Ju-
going to come down
Julius, I would like so
to
I I like though that he has an ankle injury.
Yes, yes. So we got to see the result of that first, of
Hmm.
course.
But
But I think the for me the key is this. Number one, they both have good coaching.
hmm
Thibodeau and Spo are both very good coaches. They both have guys who can score in high volumes in Jalen Brunson and
clutch
Jimmy
guys.
Butler.
Yeah.
Clutch guys. Yeah. They both have bigs who are sort of hybrid bigs that can handle the ball and also kind of shoot a little bit and get rebounds and
Oh,
like do this kind of stuff. But to me, the biggest difference is the bench. And the bench and the third option. I don't know who the Heat's third option is. It seems like it switches.
Kyle Lowry, Max Strus,
Yeah, it seems like it switches
and no
from game
Tyler
to
Hero.
game.
That's what I was like saying. Tyler Hero, this series it could bite them in the ass not having Tyler Hero,
Exactly.
and
Because the Knicks still have RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, who is
even
a
though
six man of the year
they RJ
candidate.
Barrett has this last game he did good, but like he hasn't he's been on and off, kind of like a Tyler Hero where like he's on and off.
Yeah.
What I also
But
want
look
to
who's but at the same time, he's been going up against like one of the better defensive teams in the league in the Cavs with
yeah, so he can't get to the
Jared
rim as
Allen
much, but like
and Mobley and Isaac Okoro and like like that's a different. And on top of that, the Knicks also have Sadiq Bey. They have
no,
guys who can play three and D.
Sadiq Bey plays for the Hawks.
Oh, I'm tripping. No, not Sadiq Bey. I'm thinking about the Hawks
Are you
series
talking about
still.
Quentin Grimes?
Yes, they have three and D guys
Mm-hmm.
who, although they're not technically offensive, like they're not like scorers,
Finding
but
their
you
own
still can't
shots.
leave them
Yeah,
alone. Yeah. So it's like there's no doubling,
um,
whereas the Knicks can double.
yeah. One thing I was gonna add in, it's very late for this. I don't know why I'm so delayed. My brain is delayed. Cavs versus New York. We are talking about New York. Anyway,
Hmm.
Mitchell Robinson was the best big in that series.
Bro,
Like
bro,
he was the
Mitchell
best big
Robinson,
in that series.
like, and this is the thing too, because the Heat, I mean, they were undersized against the Bucks too,
Mm-hmm.
but the Heat are undersized again against the Knicks, but the Knicks
Rebound
are bigger and more athletic than the Bucks.
and like
Like besides Giannis, like Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle are more athletic than uh Brooke Lopez and Bobby Portis or whoever. Like
um
they can get up and they're gonna get rebounds, they're gonna get putbacks, tip ins. Like
okay. With
I don't
that
know
being
what.
said, with that being said, give me your prediction.
Fuck. uh Damn, this is tough. I'm gonna go. You know what? I think this goes 7 games. I'm gonna say God, I'm gonna say Heat in 7. Only because I want to see Jimmy Butler in the conference finals. Because I hope we're there to play him.
I'm going to surprise you, bro.
You going with Knicks?
I'm going with the Knicks.
In how many games?
6.
Wow. Okay.
I just think the Knicks are a step above the Miami, no, the step above the Cleveland Cavaliers in the defensive parts. Not necessarily step above them defensively, but like they got more bodies. Like if you want to, you can put Julius Randle on them. Like
Yeah.
if you want to, like it's just bigger bodies. And I feel like Jimmy exerted a lot of fucking energy into that fucking series. Even though it was a five
Well,
game
see,
series, like he
well,
exerted a lot of energy, bro.
that's why I think it's going. I think if the Heat do win, it's 7 games because Jimmy's going to have a couple games where he's just not. He's just not in it.
And
Like,
we have seen that, one of the major reasons is Kyle Lowry. I think this series does not bode well for Kyle Lowry.
Not at
I,
all.
I don't think this series bodes well for Bam Adebayo because he has to see fucking Mitchell Robinson and he's like keep deferring, bro. Like he's not shooting the ball. He's be fucking open in the mid range and he's looking to pass this shit. And then you got Mitchell
Hmm.
Robinson where like the you know like I always say like if you can't find your shot, your best thing is to get to the rim and you're not gonna be doing that shit, Mitchell Robinson. You're not
Yeah.
all those plays, those lobs. He's breaking up lobs. He's doing all this shit. These rebounds. These Josh Hart. We even factor in Josh Hart, who fucking is like literally is poor man's Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
He's
And then on top of that, when Jalen Brunson goes to the bench, Emmanuel
and Manny
quickly
quickly
comes
comes in.
in.
That's a change of pace. Like
Yeah.
it's so much that the Knicks have, and for the Miami Heat not to have Tyler Hero, just as a decoy, even if he's not on shit, even if he's like the series isn't net for him. It, he at least is there. With him not
Yeah.
being there, and with like Jimmy has to do it again, and like, damn it, Jimmy could probably do it again, but I just don't see it happen. I feel like everything is gonna. Victor Oladipo is not there no more. Like,
Well,
you go deeper into your bench, and it's like, dog, we're fucking hitting the gas tank.
yeah. I think and I think one of the things that a lot of people overlook from the Buck series too is that Duncan Robinson basically is back. Like he reemerged. He looked like the Duncan Robinson from the bubble.
But this the thing. They have to counter that. Emmanuel quickly
Yeah.
can just fucking run around.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Tibbs we're talking about now on the defensive schemes and shit.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be able to get them shots off like he got
But
to.
he's bigger than quickly.
He is bigger than quickly, but he doesn't play bigger. He doesn't play like
I
that.
mean, when it comes to the shots though, he gets his shot like he's bigger and he is a high release.
And
Like Duncan Robinson can shoot over a lot of people,
what's
but
him,
the
what's
problem is he's
confidence?
streaky. Yeah,
Confidence is
exactly.
big with him, and
Yeah.
I feel like Tibbs
But you don't feel like it's
knows.
back?
No, I have to see it
Okay.
again. I have to see it again for another series from other coaches. Like everybody know, Budenholzer, his defense scheme is to literally give up the three, protect the rim.
Yeah.
Like been his defensive scheme. Even though he tightened it up a little bit, it's still not there. Like that's why I always like I felt like definitely this year that we could like if we faced the Bucks, we could have beat them because we're the best 3-point shooting three team in the league, and I feel like that gets swept under the rug when like a lot of like media outlets talk about us. They don't throw that in. Like we're the best one. We probably don't take the most, but we
Yeah.
make ours when we take them.
Yeah.
We have like what 5 people shooting 40% on our team. I
Hmm.
don't know, but I just think Jimmy, if Jimmy could do it again, I am fucking surprised. Like I would be
Right.
surprised, even though like I know he can, but like it's weird. Like even like I want the Sixers to win a championship, but
Yeah.
everything that they do that I haven't seen before, I'm going to be surprised. If I'm making the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm going to be surprised. Or I guess
Yeah.
it's just new. I've never seen it. You know what I mean? Like when somebody be like, "Oh, the Nuggets can make it to the finals," and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like, bro, I would because like I've never seen it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's
Especially considering the path that they have and the fact that even though they were the number one seed, they are not actually that high
yeah,
in as far as like the actual league. And on top of that, the West was like in a crazy state this year. So it's like a lot of teams were injured. A lot of teams just had weird streaks of like losing games.
yeah. Like
Like the
listen,
Warriors look like the best team in the East
I
in the
was
West right
I
now.
was surprised when Milwaukee made it. Milwaukee was the best team by far. I was surprised when Phoenix was made it on the other side. Like
Yep.
it was surprised because I haven't seen it, and I think it's the era of when I started watching basketball was so dominated by the Warriors and Cavaliers, then the Warriors and the fucking who am I leaving out? There's another team that made it to the finals. No,
Heat.
after yeah, Warriors Heat. It was the Heat for a long period of time. Then it was Cavaliers for a long period of time. It's just like I've seen the same thing over and over and over again. That once
See,
I see
that's the
something
thing.
new, I'm like, oh shit, this is different.
So here's the thing, and I want to bring this up too, real quick. The people who are into this might already know, may not already know. There is a I don't want to say significant, but there is a noticeable age gap between myself and
Oh
Marquise.
yeah,
So I have to constantly remind himself was not watching basketball, at least in the same way that I was
I started watching basketball
prior
like
to
2013.
the super team era.
That's where like, and that's already what like I've been like kind of watching basketball since like 2010. But like when I like every all 82 every
But
game,
see,
like
that's the thing. 2010 was the year LeBron went to Miami.
yeah, and it's like that's when I it was like, oh shit, like, it was a big thing, the decision. I
Right.
remember having to watch all this shit with my brother, like, and I was
Exactly.
away from it, but like I was playing like the games and shit like that, and I wasn't fully
Yeah.
invested. But like once I like started like the Sixers on my team, I'm watching all 82. If they fucking lose, my
Right.
mental health takes a fucking hit. Like once I
But see,
became a fan, that was like 2014, 2013, 2014 season.
here's the thing though. Prior to that, this was the norm. This was the norm. What we're experiencing right now. There was almost no team finals back to back, let alone won it back to back. But went to the finals that was extremely rare. I think before the Heat did it, the last team to do it was the Lakers with in 2009 and 2010. And even then they only or I'm sorry, 2009. No, wait. The Lakers went 3 years in a row?
The Lakers went 4 years in a row, and they lost to the Pistons.
No, 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 no. I'm talking about in the late 2000s.
They went
Uh
3 years in a row. Yeah, they went Boston. They played Boston. They played Dwight, and they played Boston again. So they were 2-1 in 3 years.
no, they only went 2 years.
Oh no, because that was 2008. No, they did. No, they went 2008, 2009. Oh yeah, they did. They only did 2 years. Oh wait,
Yeah.
Kobe had no. Kobe didn't have four. They won back to back years. They won 2010, 2009, and 2010. Because Dirk
That's right.
beat
They
because
did go 3
Dirk
years in a
yeah
row.
because Dirk
They did
beat
go 3 years in a row.
he beat the Heat in 2011 and won his championship. Yeah,
They did go 3 years in a row. They
yeah,
went 2008, 2009, 2010.
yeah, and they
But in
lost. Yeah,
2008 they lost.
in 2002
Um
they back to back. Yeah,
right. So that was the last team to do it. Was the Lakers. Before that, it was the Lakers. So and the Spurs were going like every other year. Like in the years that they were winning, they went like every other year.
and when they
So
fucking went, it just seemed like they were gonna win. It seemed like it.
right. So like this what we're experiencing right now is actually the way that basketball was for like a pretty significant amount of time. It was literally just the 90s, like the late I want to say the early 80s, the early to mid 80s it was Boston and LA. Then in the late 80s it kind of went back and forth because you had the Lakers, but then you also had the Pistons and Celtics got some years. Like it was a little back and forth. 90s obviously it was just all Bulls. But then when you get to like the 2000s, you had the Lakers, and then
Spurs. Yeah.
after the Lakers, it was literally like Pistons, Spurs, uh who else? The Heat won one.
06.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2004, 2004 was Pistons, 2005 was Spurs, 2006 was Heat, 2007
Spurs.
was
Spurs again.
Spurs. Yeah,
2008
2008
Celtics.
Celtics,
9, 10.
2009 and 2010 Lakers.
Yeah.
So like you had a good 4 or 5 year period where like it was a different team winning the championship every year,
Mm-hmm.
almost a different matchup every year. So I'm not saying the super team era is over because
Please
obviously
be
it's
over.
not.
Please be over. Like I love this, bro.
So
Like
here, so well, here's the
I
thing.
love this shit.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue, and this is why I say like the super team era. it- it's hard to explain because in every era there's a super team.
But this is
Really,
different. This is like players actually conspiring to get together to team up. Mostly players
but
with
see,
not like they has
but
has
see
success
here,
by themselves.
here's why I don't think it's different. It's only happened twice that we've seen where players who are in their prime have come together on purpose.
And it hasn't
The
worked all the
Warriors
time.
when KD went to the Warriors, and then the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
and even if you count the Cavs, LeBron was not technically in his prime. He was
Le-
playing some of the best basketball we've ever seen, but he wasn't, you know,
crying out
2012
for
LeBron
crying
James.
out loud, LeBron James averaged 30 last year.
Right, right. Like LeBron's a hard one to gauge, but at the same time, Cleveland LeBron, you could say he was like one of the best versions of himself, but in terms of physical ability, he was not prime LeBron.
It's crazy because like I think of Miami LeBron as like number 8 Kobe, and then I think of like 24 Kobe as like the Cleveland LeBron,
Exactly.
where it's like I
Exactly.
did it before. This is how we do it. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
exactly. It was more so about getting the rest of the guys on the same page
yeah,
and on sort of the same level as him because really Kyrie Irving, you could argue, was just as good of a player in that final series as LeBron was.
they don't win without Kyrie.
So so what I mean by that is like we've only seen in a couple instances where players who are in their prime have come together to form a super team. However, in terms of like the players who are older, who are post a couple pretty big injuries, like maybe one of them has already won or they've been to the finals a couple times and like, lost or whatever, but they're like a little bit over the hill where they're not quite how they used to be. That's been happening. We saw teams with Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, and Scottie Pippen on the same team.
Yeah,
They didn't win. Like
it was
we
older.
we saw the Gary Payton and Carl Malone on the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. They didn't win. You know what I mean? So we've seen super teams before. I've only ever seen a couple super teams where like everybody was in their prime and in the best part of their
Yeah,
career.
I get you saying super teams by the fact of name recognition versus the actual
Exactly.
talent. Yeah, I get what you're coming from.
That's been happening. But the reason why I say the super team era is kind of over is because yes, there are still teams that have multiple guys with huge names, right? We have the Clippers, we have the Suns who have Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, but really only Devin's in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
When the Clippers, Kawhi is kind of past his prime. He can't stay healthy. Paul George has issues staying healthy. Russ is definitely past his prime. The Lakers, LeBron's past his prime. AD, I don't even know when AD's prime was, right? And then even with the Nets, like Kyrie injury issues, off the court issues, Kevin Durant injury issues, James Harden injury issues. Like if you look around the league, the best teams really only have like one or two superstars, which is kind of how it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, and this is why I say we might see another super team era, a lot of those stars are tired of not winning. Like
Also, what I would
we might
say,
see a time when Luka Doncic is like, "Hey, put me over there. Like I want to go over there."
and
We might
hopefully
see a
over
time where
there,
Damian Lillard is like, "Fuck it, send me to the Bucks." You know what I mean? Like
hopefully over there for Luka Doncic is in the Sixers jersey. Um,
hopefully,
hopefully, you know what I mean. You know,
we can only hope.
you can only hope. You can only hope.
But then
Tell,
again, what the fuck do you got to give up to get Luka Doncic?
hopefully he just walks in free agency.
I don't see that happening, and I don't see us having enough money to sign him.
I see it. Tobias Harris is off the books. Tobias
Listen,
Harris is off the
Tobias
books.
and James got to be gone.
Hey, I'll listen. Sorry, I'll pack their bags for him, respectfully. Um, that was it. That was everything.
Yeah,
We had. Uh, yeah,
crazy week.
crazy fucking week.
And here's one thing too that I want to say. In addition to some crazy ass results to some of these games have been crazy endings.
Heavy energy, bro. This is the best playoffs. Like, as long as I've been a basketball fan, this is the best playoffs. Like, literally, there's been a lot of upsets of teams that should
Yeah,
not be there that are there, and anything is possible. The Knicks could
yeah.
possibly be in the fucking Eastern Conference Finals. When the last time we said that shit, I don't know. The
I,
fucking since Melo was on
it's
there, that was the last time. And they're not
it's
even
crazy.
good though. And it's not. They're not even. Not. I want to say they're not good. They're not a great team. Like that's the
They don't
craziest
have
part.
a they don't have a Carmelo Anthony.
they're not they're a good team. They're not a great team, and the fact that
Yeah,
this good team could just be in the East Conference Finals by kind of default is crazy to think
yeah.
of. And
I yeah. I mean, this is definitely up there. I think 2011 I gotta put up there.
I ain't watched.
I mean, Dirk's run. Dirk.
Been
I
every
don't
time.
want to say single. I don't want to like single handedly is like a air quote because obviously he had Jason Kidd, he had
But
Tyson Chandler, who was one of the best
it
defensive players
was
in the league.
Dirk. It was Dirk, and then it was like space, 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 space. The next guy,
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that he beat
the Heatles, man.
the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers and then the Spurs and then I forget who else, but like Dirk that run was crazy. And then on the other end you had the Miami Heat, which was their first year together, and they had to beat Boston and I think Atlanta.
Yeah,
Uh
I think it was Al
like
Horford's
yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. That was a crazy year. 2001, I know you don't remember that, but
Dude, I was
that
one.
Sixers that Sixers like that Allen Iverson MVP year beating Milwaukee, Toronto, like Milwaukee had Ray Allen, Toronto had Vince Carter, and like Allen Iverson and Mutombo just kind of like battled all the way to the finals and then gave the Lakers their first and only loss of the postseason. The Lakers swept 3 rounds in a row and
um,
then got to the finals, and their first and only loss was against the Sixers in game one. And Allen Iverson steps over Tyronn Lue.
closing
Crazy.
closing notes. Uh, Paulo Banchero was named Rookie of the Year. We knew that for some time now. Most
Yep.
improved went to Larry Markkinen.
And by for some time now, we mean since he was drafted. But
Yes,
go ahead.
he was. He would
Since
have
Chet's
been.
injury was announced.
He would have been the unanimous Rookie of the Year if they didn't let someone from the Jazz vote on this shit and pick Walker Kessler. There was another NBA award that went out. Let me find. Did I just want to?
Was it six man of the year?
No, it was. Was it MIP? I think it was MIP and Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Because they did no wait. They did clutch player of the year and what was the other one?
Clutch Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year.
Because they're doing like two at a time, right?
Yeah. Wait, let me look. It's a whole list of it. Marketing, most improved. Brogdon was six man. Mike
Mm-hmm.
Brown, Coach of the Year. Fox, Clutch Player of
Coach
the
of the
Year.
year.
Jaren Jackson, Defensive Player of the Year. There's only one award left. So they've had dates for these awards to be announced. There's no current date for the MVP to be announced,
Oh my god.
and I hate this so much. And I've
I
said
hate it
this.
too.
Let me
I
look.
feel like they're waiting. I feel like they're waiting for the, and this is what scares me. I feel like they're waiting for the Denver series to end. I mean, I feel like they're waiting. They were waiting for the Denver series to end.
That's kind of
That's what scares me.
also. I mean, they all could have known that the suspense around this award is the craziest it's ever been because legit
Yeah,
three guys could win it. Um,
because I think they were honestly waiting for. I think they're because everybody knows the top three is Embiid, Jokic, Giannis. I think they were waiting for all three of those series to end.
that's the craziest part. That if Giannis wins MVP,
Oh my god. See, this is why you do not wait until after the first round of
yeah,
the
dude.
playoffs to announce the awards. They are regular season awards. Just announce them at the end of the
Can
regular
you
season.
imagine if Jokic,
Can you,
Joel, and fucking Giannis all got eliminated in the first round?
bro?
They gonna be
Like,
giving no.
how crazy would that be?
These motherfuckers on the island, like, doing the fucking interview on Skype, talk about,
Yeah,
oh, I
they
won the
got a
award,
mail. They got a mail Embiid's award to Cancun.
right? Like, come on, dude. NBA be better. The last awards that was given out was on the 25th. Um, if Joel is to win the award, which all signs are pointing to, it is some Sean, help.
Skepticism.
There we go. There is some around the award because what you just said that it has been pointed out that they haven't announced it yet, and the next team to get a home game is the Nuggets.
Nuggets.
And if Joel wins it, it's not going to be until, I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be until the next home game that they announce it. They can announce it
I mean,
beforehand
yeah.
and just give it to him, like at the home game. But it is the draft started. Oh, great.
Yeah,
This
NFL
other news.
draft.
Yeah. Congratulations to Bryce Young. Just went number one. Uh, and yeah, that's kind of it. I just wanted to add those notes in. Congratulations to the guys who won the awards. That
Yeah.
probably kind of been wrapped up for a while. They should have did Pablo. Paulo should have been before the season. Paulo,
Yeah.
Malcolm Brogdon, 6 man a year. That was up in the year because the man quickly couldn't have had it. Mike Brown should have gotten it before the season started. Um,
Like
so was De'Aaron Fox.
I understand injuries and stuff happens, but once Chet's injury was announced and after Paolo played like the first month, you could have just went ahead and gave him the award then.
You could have. You
Because
could have.
yes, there were other guys who were doing well, but nobody was like, just give him the award.
Dude was the only person that gave him some trouble, not never even necessarily trouble, but like some type of like a little heat. It's always some random ass player. It's never the player it should be. It's always some random ass player, and Jalen Williams was that player that was giving him some heat, put some heat on his ass,
Yeah.
directing the attention somewhere else. But yeah, that's
Yep.
it. That's it so far. Hopefully Joel Embiid wins his MVP. Gets in front of the crowd. Hopefully we're up 2-0. And because it will make it better. If
Yeah.
the fucking series started, maybe that's why they haven't given it to him. Because the series hasn't.
Because the series hasn't started yet.
There's no series. So it's like, hey, thank
Oh,
you.
because there's no start date.
Yeah, there's no start
Oh,
date. That's
there's no
probably
start
why.
date.
All right. So see, look, I just shifted the narrative. Boom, pitches. Um.
Great job. Great job.
Uh.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was episode what? 29?
This 29, dude.
29
29, dude.
of the Untitled Hoops podcast. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us.
That's a big number.
If you would like
That's
to
a
see,
very old ass number. Like if I sit do say so myself, it's old ass number. That's kind of crazy.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
very old ass number. It's
Um,
a crazy number. Like after
uh-huh.
29,
Yeah.
like it should just die. I think. Inside joke. Sean is about to be 29, so that's what that's that's the funny part about it. It's yeah.
That's the funny part.
That's the funny part about it.
Uh-huh. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
For real. Oh shit.
Well, anyway, thank you for joining us for episode 29. Still a perfectly young number of the Untitled Hoops podcast. If you'd like to see more episodes of the podcast, you can, of course, check them out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever you're listening to. Right now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can check them out on the channel, or you can go over to our website, see more episodes of this podcast and the other podcasts that we have done on.
Ever.
Okay, sorry, my daughter is making noise on the Low Lights Network. Ever, yeah. Go to blackflagent.online. You can also check out the store and see some of the merch we got up there. Make some purchases and some cool stuff. Check it out, and yeah, make sure you follow us on all the social networks. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Marquise, do you have anything to finish with?
Rest in peace, Jerry Springer.
Rest in peace, Jerry fucking Springer. Best babysitter the early 2000s kids ever had.
For real, bro. For real.
Staying home from school in like the early and mid 2000s and having literally like this is before streaming. Best we could do was on demand, and that wasn't even like the best thing. Like Jerry Springer raised us, and we were not supposed to be watching Jerry Springer at all.
Bro, I
We were
was
not supposed.
after school. I was raised on Jerry Springer, Maury, Steve Wilkos.
Yep.
What's the
And
other
by
one?
the way, Steve
Cheaters.
Wilkos, a product of Jerry Springer,
Yeah, he was a
because Steve
security guard.
Wilkos was
Yeah.
a security guard on the Jerry Springer
And
show.
cheaters.
And
Cheaters.
cheaters and
Cheaters.
cops.
Yeah, cops. Cops too. Cops was kind of racist. But it was
A little.
either
We didn't know that at the time.
it was every black guy or like some hillbilly ass white guy. It was
She think I'm selling drugs. I don't sell drugs. I'm a prostitute. That's my favorite moment from cops of all time. But anyway, we are way off track. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. We'll we'll see you next week.
bye. Oh